it's off. There's some interpretation difference. But it's, we're talking about ancient history, so this is not, we're not even talking really about recorded history.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's normal when the powder pass away, it's spread out, break up and spread. It's normal in any condition. Like let's say you have family business, right? After your whole pass away, may pass out to your dad, and this may develop more. How you been, Sam?
Me? Oh, I'm doing well. I just was outside a moment ago, but happy to join everyone. How are all of y'all doing?
Well, it's okay. Yeah, thank you. I thought that you came here, so you just had a break, huh? Take a rest.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I told my boss I needed to leave work for a few hours so I could do the donation thing with the kids. So when I was done doing that with them, I went back to work.
Really? Okay. Thank you. All right. And Stephen, can you read the next one, please?
Most scholars accept the historicity of a division within the Sangha between followers of the Satvira, or elders, and those of the Mahasangika, or Great Assembly, though it is not clear if this was primarily occasioned by disagreement between those who favored stringent religious discipline and those who took a liberal view, or had to do with questions concerning the nature of arhat, though this too had disciplinary implications. Dating is problematic, but most agree it is prior to Ashoka's reign. Both the inscriptional evidence and text support the view that there was further division due to varying disciplinary and doctrinal perspectives, though it remained a common practice for traveling monks to reside in any community, and there seems to have been harmony within the larger Sangha. I didn't quite understand the full thing, but just the basic part of it is how the teachings of the Buddha somehow was split among like more of strict tradition and more of kind of like relaxed and I'm guessing openness based on wherever they were at on their teachings, meaning region of where the people was at. So I think that's what my sort of interpretation of this is.
Can you understand these passages, Sam?
I'm sorry, what was it you asked?
Do you understand this passage?
Yeah, it's similar to what we talked about in one of the previous lessons, talking about how the early Buddhists kind of split between the ones who like the elders, the Thera, the elders who wanted to do things a particular like strict way, and then the Maha group, which wanted to have like a bigger, more open way.
Yeah, one is the liberal one is conservative one. That's what about. Yeah. Have you guys read any Buddhist story before?
I read like all statement.
Oh, you did? Yes, some Thích Hành books.
Yeah, I read like that.
Oh, really? What's the title?
Silence in the Art of Communicating.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of those.
Yeah.
How about you? You read some books?
Also the same one. Then I listened to a lot of taking Tiger. That's on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
They're like hours long.
Really? What's that?
Meteor Record.
Oh,
He's Tibetan,
Tibetan.
Tibetan tradition.
okay.
Just another example.
He's considered, you know, because he was real heavily tested, like, we call it like the gamma rays in his brain and stuff like that. So he's coined like the happiest person on earth.
Are you talking about Yonggi Rinpoche? I might have said his name wrong, but like the young Tibetan monk, well, not young, he's probably like 40, 45.
Can you type his name on the chat? I may recognize.
I can spell it.
Honestly, I might not even remember it, but I think I know who they're talking about. Yeah, yeah, I've seen where, like Kirsten said, they did like MRIs of his brain while he was meditating, and the MRIs showed like some really interesting brain activity that proved that he was unusually calm and like happy and compassionate, which is pretty much what the goal is, I suppose, of meditation. So it's like they scientifically proved with an MRI that it was working, what he was doing.
Oh, the young monk, is that right?
He has,
I think he's middle aged. He's probably like, I don't know, like 45.
So he's the band one, right?
Yeah, he's Tibetan.
Okay, wow.
Pretty young for a minute.
Okay, yeah. Mhm. So you listen.
he's a Tolkien. His dad is a very famous Dzogchen master. So he comes out of, I mean, he was prepped from a very, you know,
Right, like the Dalai Lama.
Yeah, you got aware that Dalai Lama came here in Louisville?
Here? To this one?
No,
Yeah.
Louisville.
We went to that.
You were there?
Yeah, we weren't there when he was there, but we went to that monastery and meditated with those monks. Geshe-la, I forget, but
compassion. Center.
yeah, he gave me.
Yeah, on the north end of town.
I've been there, but it's.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of Buddhist meditation books are out there. You got practice at home together sometimes? Oh, really? It's quite different from Buddhist meditation. To decide, you decide a short mantra, right? For the TM. Well, that's nice. That's you are a little bit advanced then. Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that, but I enjoy that.
We do chanting here on Sundays, but it's in Vietnamese.
But we I get asked Sam. So if there's enough people, we can have the chanting, have the surprise the session.
Yeah, Saturday mornings.
You guys work on Saturday?
No, tomorrow.
Yeah, Sam, you want to come? Sam,
Yeah, I could come tomorrow morning.
11,
Mm,
meditation.
yeah, you like 11 is I think what we talked about.
Yeah, if you can come together with Chair Sam, yeah, we can go together because on Sunday we are stuck with the Vietnamese communities. We cannot change the schedule much. It is not much. Yes, this is for actually for the young people. They have one guy he can teach not for fun, not real one for fun for exercise. We don't have Tai Chi. Yeah, he just teach.
He didn't like the lion dance. They do some like, they have some things downstairs and some of the kids learn how to kick and like, you know, they have a lion team, but I think that's a little bit younger.
Yeah, we have two teams now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teens are in their early 20s, though.
Mhm.
Then the other ones, I think.
Young one. Anyway, all right. So again, go back here. So up to the Buddha Paris way. So there's two main groups. Right? One is Mahasanghika, that's the great assembly, that's more liberal. Another one is Savita, that's been more conservative. Let me now let's see here. Let's see here. Yeah. Your name Ben, right?
Max.
Matt?
Max.
Oh, okay, can you read
Yeah.
this one here? By, can you see? Oh, it's too small.
No, that's good, that's good. The decline of Buddhism in India by the 12th century.
That's enough. Yeah. 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 Yeah, let me share with you this. I think I discussed before too. Let me share with you my let me put. Oops, sorry. I need to. Can you see this image here? Right here, you see this image here is the famous one. So when the Turkish armies invade northern part of India, so they encounter several Buddhist monastery with several thousand of Buddhist monks who wear the robe, and they thought that the army, so they killed them all, and some of them ran away. Uh, and, and this is the horrific, tragic events in part of India, especially into Buddhism, and somehow Buddhism could not survive after that because the monk didn't fight back.
Right.
No, we could not fight. Huh?
It should always know.
No, no. So they kill most of the Buddhist monks, thousand. You know what happened? 2001, Taliban blew up the one of the oldest and the largest Buddhist statue in Afghanistan. You don't know about that? Oh, you know about that? Okay, here. We move down here. Yeah, we have plenty. We have thousands of them, not one. Yeah, the whole library of that.
And there's like, there's, you know, like, and then there's like same script, and then.
All right, can you see this one here? You know this? You see that they blew up here, and now they use what they call 3D projector to project the Buddhas again. Yeah, this is one here. They blew up everything. Yeah, 2001. Yeah, and Buddhists didn't react in any way, any violent way, because we remain non-violence. Yeah, what's that?
Why do they have a problem?
Islam is, so part of the religion also is like, it's also like a political system. So, but they also want everyone to join. So there's a lot of like warrior traditions built in kind of into Islam. So modern interpretations of that are, along the way, it becomes a way that it's noble. Like this is
They also have strong beliefs against religious art and statues. Like Muslims, like there's no such thing in Islam as like a painting or a statue of Muhammad. And if you make a statue of painting or of Muhammad, like they get extremely upset. And that's because like part of their beliefs is that you can't make that, like in Islam, you can't make statues of gods or prophets or saints or anybody like that because they consider it an idol. So when they see Buddha statues, they're like, that's an idol, that's evil, we've got to destroy it. So they've destroyed a ton of Buddha statues all around the world. Yeah, Afghanistan. People don't know, but thousands of years, Afghanistan was actually a Buddhist country before it was called Afghanistan. It was Greco-Bactria, and it was like a mix of Central Asians and like a Greek minority left over from Alexander the Great came all the way out there. They were a Buddhist kingdom for a long time until the Muslims took over. And like the master was talking about, when they came to India, they killed thousands of people. There was a place, Nalanda University. It was like kind of like the Library of Alexandria. It was like a huge university complex that lasted for like 1,000 years, and it was like mostly focused on studying Buddhism, but they also studied like math and science, and it existed for a long time. But whenever the invaders came to India, they killed thousands and thousands of monks and destroyed thousands of books and destroyed the building so thoroughly that it was just like a ruin until the 1800s when they finally started to like uncover and rebuild it. And now it's open again, but it's like not the original. It's like a rebuilt one on the same place. But it's like a great tragedy for history, like whenever the Library of Alexandria was burnt, because it was another great center of learning, but because a different belief system thought that it was evil, it all got destroyed. And it didn't just hurt Buddhism, it hurt science and math too. But it's how it goes in history.
growing religion.
Yeah, I remember now, France, when they got attacked by a lot of terrorist attacks because their son was over there, put a drawing of Muhammad.
A teacher, well, that type of stuff happens a lot, yeah, and, but you go in like a really devout Muslim house, they don't have pictures of, they don't have images of people's faces or anything like that, they don't have, like, they have maybe like family documents of like pictures of the kids, but they don't have like a lot of family pictures of a lot of other cultures.
And yeah, even they kill thousands and thousands of Buddhist monks and nuns, or destroy Buddhist statue, monastery. We don't have any hatred to them because they get ignorant people. They don't know. Ignorance, yeah. So we don't have any hatred. We don't want his revenge, because an eyes for an eyes, right? It would make us blind.
Right.
We cannot revenge, but at least we educate. We provide, nowadays we provide education so that people can be aware of the religious heritage, so that we protect ourselves.
I read, oh, sorry.
Yeah, Sam.
I read, this was 3 or 4 years ago that I read it, so I might not remember it 100% perfect, especially since it's a very advanced text. But I read a Vajrayana Buddhist text, the Kala Chakra Tantra. I actually couldn't read it all because it was too advanced, but the just the beginning of it, where it describes like the historical context in which it was written, it was talking about how it was during the Muslim invasions of North India, And if I recall, it was like a younger monk is going to try to talk to his master because everybody is panicking about these invaders coming and persecuting Buddhism. And there's a lot to this text, but like the core essence, as I recall, is he interrupts the master's meditation or tries to and touches the master while he's meditating, and he sees like a vision of all of time, like time itself, and then like the message he gets from it, basically, as it pertains to this conversation, is cultures can grow and shrink and live and die, but you can't destroy the truth. And Buddhism is true, the Dharma is true. So no matter what happens in the world, it'll never be completely destroyed. It's impossible. So even when horrible things like that happen, we shouldn't stress about it too much and let it cause us to be angry or whatever. It's not worth being violent about, which is why, the master in the story was like, not trying to get involved in like the warfare. He was just, practicing, and that because, yeah, ultimately you can't destroy the truth.
Yeah. So again, Buddhism based on the first precept, no killing, and when we take the revenge, when we harm others, we barbarize to us. So, well, basically, in the past we can accept, but now definitely we try our best to protect ourselves and others, and we can try our best to do a good karma for ourselves. Yeah. So if everyone understand that there's no conflict, there's no fighting, there's no shooting. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Yeah. Yeah, please would like to. Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah. Well, this one, the next one.
Okay. Were it not for Mahayana's successful expansion beyond northern India, the school of Buddhism may have remained a minor philosophical student. However, the tradition attracted the people of Central Asia. And then, by means of monks from those centuries, it spread onward to Tibet and further afield. One reason advanced Mahayana's appeal was the celestial bodhisattvas and the uncompromising compassion offered to request it. So, what I get from this, I guess, red and gold, kind of, because Muslim and murdering. So that forced the spread to Tibet.
Yeah.
One reason. So, uncompromising compassion was their root.
Yeah. Yeah, let this one here. You see the image here. This is where Buddhism spread right here from India. That's big Mahayana here. The whole in the far east here, and go down here. This is the you see that right here is the Rabra one. Let's see, this one is better here. Okay, here. So the yellow one is where Mahayana Buddhist spread to.
Okay.
And the brown, or the orange one is the Rabra one. Yeah.
One is liberal.
Yeah, this one is more liberal, or you can say it, but not much liberal, but you can say that the northern tradition.
Okay.
This one northern tradition, this is a southern tradition. Yeah. Yeah. So yes, yeah. Basically, there are 52 level of Bodhisattva. The highest one is the Buddha. To become the highest one is as you close you become Buddha. So you can start from what you call initial Bodhisattva. In Mahayana tradition, we have what you call the vows to be a initial Bodhisattva. Everyone can take it. So basically, you get concerned yourself and others. In the Theravada tradition, you focus on yourself, on your liberation alone. Personally, but in Mahayana tradition, yeah, you work on spiritual part. You need to, yeah, like for example, if you are an electrician, right? If you just run your own business, you don't care much about it, right? That's your personal business. But in Mahaya or Buddha, Bodhisattva spirit, while you're working, you share information with your friends, your brothers, or you can refer the customer to your friends, and vice versa. He can refer back and forth. So that's why you can support each other in growing in a growing way, in uh, a healthy way. Yeah. Instead of focus on alone by yourself. That's what Bodhisattva is about. Yeah.
Well, ultimately, the Bodhisattva, the paths are something to put off your own enlightenment, so all beings are.
Yeah, but in practical sense,
Yeah.
while we walk in on our spiritual path, we help others.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's healthy too. Sometimes it's slow, but it's healthy. Like while you grow in your business, you can support your friends, right? You can share customer, share information, idea, and vice versa. They can share with you. So both grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that you go throughout your day with the intention also to relieve the suffering.
Yeah. Hi Ben. How you been, Ben?
Good, good.
Good. You done with your driving today?
Yeah, I just got home.
Okay. All right. Good. Okay, so we just talk about the Mahayana, right? This is where it spread to. It's here, but from 3rd century BC, it spread to other countries. Yeah. So basically, when Buddhism died out in India, but it spread everywhere in the Far East. Yeah. And now it spread to the West. So yeah, we don't have any problem with the Holy War. We don't have any of those in the crusaders, because we know whenever we hide and harm others, we play some kind of bad karma, and they come back to us. We don't want to do that. That's why we based on non-violence and compassion. It's not easy. It's not easy to abide by that, but eventually, if you in yourself, in the way that, especially in Mahayana Buddhist tradition, especially with the uh, textbook, the Brahmana Sutra, and one of the precepts, they say that we need to contemplate all the male as a fathers and brothers. We need to contemplate all the women as a mother and sister. And wherever we go, they are our family members. So there's no way for us to harm others because they are our relatives. And that's Buddhist view. That's Buddhist view. So no matter what they are, no matter who they are, no matter what type of religion they are, we just respect them. Because it's their own choice. We cannot force, we cannot harm them. Okay. So let's go back here. Yeah, this is stone here. What is that? Yeah, let's see here. Okay, Sam, you like to read this? Sam?
I'll try. It's a little small for me. Can you make it bigger?
Or it's small for you?
Yeah, can you make it a little bit bigger?
It's
Okay,
better.
yeah. Um, it is out of this still largely obscure context that a Buddhist movement arose that came to be known as Mahayana, or Great Vehicle. Its followers accepted the Mahayana sutras and the teachings to which they give written expression, in contrast to the earlier theories that argued for the prominence of lay Buddhists in the rise of Mahayana. Scholars increasingly emphasize its monastic origins and the prominence of devotion to the sutras themselves, or what some have called, quote unquote, the cult of the book. Not surprisingly, the first evidence of this is textual, with most scholars dating the earliest Mahayana texts to around the 1st century BCE. It is not until the 4th century CE that inscriptional evidence for the movement appears in India, and even this does not make direct use of the term Mahayana, which first occurs in 6th century inscriptions.
Hmm.
Do you want me to summarize it?
Yeah.
It seems as if it's just saying that in the past, scholars thought that lay people were the main factor in the origin of Mahayana, but more recent scholarship seems to show that it was actually just it was still led by the monastics. It's just that the monastics had different texts, the sutras that the Theravadins didn't have, and that was the main cause of the difference. Even if, of course, like the lay community was a big factor. It was mostly just about the Mahayana having the different texts, the different sutras, and those are very important.
You know what's the quote of the book? You know what's mean?
I've never heard it described that way before. Um, I think it's kind of a peculiar way to describe it, honestly, because sometimes the word cult is a little loaded, but I guess they mean it in a more neutral way. But I guess what they mean is just that the Mahayanists were really uh focused on their sutras, but I don't really understand even still what why they would call it the cult of the book, because I feel like the Theravadins are also really interested in their own books. I feel like people from every religion are interested in their own books. So I don't know. I honestly don't understand why they say this cult of the book thing. If you know why, I'm interested to hear an explanation. Because I feel like every religion is obsessed with their own religious books. Obviously, I don't know what would make Mahayana different in that way.
So, especially within the Vietnamese Buddhist communities, there's some, especially Buddhist monks and nuns, you know, the Lotus Sutra, right? Even now, they bow word by word. They memorize, they chant,
Yeah.
they chant the Lotus Sutra. There's a thick book here. They chant uh, almost every day. And even again, they bow word by word.
That's a tough.
Yeah, that is popular.
That's a tough text.
Yeah, that's what they call the cut of the book here. And not only the Lotus Sutra, but many big sutra, long sutra, like the Yuma Sutra or the Flower Dharma Sutra. It's 8 volumes, and they decide. And some of them they memorize too. Yeah, and even It's still rare. Even some monk, they use their blood to write the sutra.
What's the purpose
Yeah.
of that?
Huh?
What is the purpose of that?
To show the devotion.
You
Yeah. Uh-huh.
need it if you do that.
Yeah, it's still rare. Yeah, it's still rare.
It also kind of probably some sort of like recognition that you are not your body.
And also I say that's because the Buddha teaching is so sacred, right? It's so valuable. So they show that they willing to sacrifice their life for this type of teaching. That's why they use their own blood to write. It's still rare, but it's happened even in modern time too. Yeah.
That
Yes.
does make me think of how in the past we discussed like how when we were talking about relics, how in the Diamond Sutra, it talks about how the sutras themselves should be treated like a relic of the Buddha. So that makes sense. And another thing that connects to this cult of the book conversation is that I know a lot of people in the West, including myself when I was younger, were taught that the printing press was invented in Germany to print Bibles, but actually the first printing press was invented in China like 500 or 600 years earlier to print the Diamond Sutra, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, when we talk about the sutra, we can see they print the Buddhist sutra in every forms, in the palm leaves, silk, and the so they inscribe on the metals and so forth. Even in the they inscribe in the rock, start from Ashoka. Yeah. And even in the past, it's still hard to bring the sutra from one country to others. Especially this one story about the Shoma Sutra. So at that time, that sutra or that books was considered national treasure. So the king ordered that no one can allow to bring out of the country because of the national treasure. Right? So one monk, he had the bright idea. You know what happened? He wrote the sutra on the silk, right, and silk cloth, and he wrote it. And he cut his tie, put it inside his tie,
Oh my goodness.
and carried through the border to China. His tie, he split up his tie. And stuck it there. See how
Didn't see the video either, or maybe I saw it somewhere else. Maybe it was fairly recent monks, like sealing up some sutras and some like really intense sort of vault. But it may have been something.
What's that? What's about?
Like, like I saw a video. I
Mhm.
don't remember if it was in class or somewhere else. Where these Buddhist monks had all their or canon, and somewhere up in the northern, they had a big steel vault, so in case something happened.
Okay. Yeah. So people is so devout in the past. These people sacrifice their life. Later on we can study about the Xuan Chan, right? The
What?
Chinese monk.
Oh, yeah.
The Chinese monk journey to the West. You heard about that story? Journey to the Monkey King. You heard the story? The monk. You don't know. Monkey King story. You heard about that? You don't know about that.
Rings a bell, but I don't.
This is a fictionary one, but the real one is the one Chinese monk. He walked from China to India to get the sutra back to China for all the years that he went around in China, India, and back about 16 to 17 years by walk, by foot. That's how people, the world.
But there's a couple of really like well-made movies.
Oh,
There's a lot.
He was on his journey for, you said 17 or 18 years.
Uh-huh. Yeah, here.
That's longer than Aaron's been alive.
Yes. Uh-huh.
the Japanese Buddhists had like written where like something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
See that here. So this is took him 16 to 17 years walk from here. Remember in the past, right? People walk, walk or ride the horse, but of course for the monk, you're not supposed to ride the horse.
Here it's heading west, and then you get to a village, and then I'm heading west. Where's the closest village heading west? Yeah.
The many story that the Buddhist monk died on the road on the way go to India, because in the past it's not convenient now, like nowadays, right? We have airplane, we have car, transportation, but not in the past. Yeah. And Stephen, you follow Ryan Stephen? You heard about
Yes,
Stephen?
yes, Mofak, I heard.
You heard about this story? Did the Chinese monk travel to the west to India?
No, I just heard about it now. No.
Yeah, this is his path. See that? Yeah,
Mhm.
he walk around, not by just walking, by foot. Yeah. It's huge. Mountain, forest, deserts. Yeah, Ben, you heard about this kind of story before, Ben?
No, I've never heard this. This is really interesting.
Yeah.
That's entirely true.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, and you see that? See here? You see this is just China and India now, right? Yeah, it's just huge. Here's trees. I don't know. It takes 16 to 17 years to walk around. Can he walk around? See that? The whole country here. Yeah, see that he walk around and he stayed there to study too. He collect the sutra. He studied Sanskrit, so forth. So he went back to China and translate some of them. This is the devotion. So Sam, you heard about this one right before, right, Sam?
Yes.
You watched the Johnny the West Monkey King movie before?
I've not watched the movie. I'd like to. I saw a clip that you showed before and it looked really cool. I'll have to watch it. And I definitely want to show the kids that clip because they're really into the Monkey King.
Remember, Johnny the West is just the fictionary story, not the real one. But the real one is
Yeah, of course.
yeah.
But yeah, I've also heard some other stories like you were talking about. There were a lot of different monks who made this journey over the centuries. I mean, it was difficult, so it wasn't like a huge number, but there were more than just that guy, that venerable guy. And I there's a YouTube channel called Voices from the Past where they take old books and journals and letters and stuff where people wrote about their experiences a long time ago and they read them out loud. And I actually watched one the other day where they read out loud the account of a different monk who went from China to India, and he talked about all the stuff that he saw there. It was when India was still Buddhist, at least that part of it was, and he had some interesting descriptions of what that Buddhist India was like.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on then. What's the name? You want to pick? Oh, but sorry. Let's move on to not yet. Let me move to different page. Let's see the next page. Okay, the principle. Okay. Let's see. Okay. It's okay now? You go ahead, yeah, please.
Samskara, so. Or all beings pass through an unceasing cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, mind and means of liberation from this. However, Buddhism uses the distinction that every human being possesses the chief symbol which constitutes favor or ultimate destiny. And its mind is one incarnation. Constantly flux and turn for no.
Okay, so now you understand that?
Yes,
Hmm.
basically Buddhism, they don't believe.
No permanent soul,
Yeah, no difference.
everything is changeable. Yeah. So yes, it's like everything can be recycled, right? Everything is recycled. The water, the plastic, the paper, anything you can see. There's you can see the soul. It transform one form to others. The energy is still there. For example, we are now different from yesterday, but we're still the same person, but in different way. And if we stand back far back to when we were little, when we were one, right? Yeah, we are that, we were that person, but we still have that kind of identity, but we're different. And if we compare now into the next 10 years, it will be different physically and mentally too, right? Depend upon how much we learn and how we interact with other people and so forth. So that's why in Buddhism we believe in that cycle, the birth cycle, never ending. There's no ending point, no starting point. And when we're done with this life, we move on to the next life in different form of life. And depend upon our karma. Yeah. So yeah. So basically, right, Ben, is we talk about that many times, right, Ben?
Yes, yes.
What you call the birth cycle. Yeah. So here, right here. Let's see. Oh, okay, right here. You see, in Buddhist view, so we you see here, right? We can go down to the hell, human, heaven, human realm, animal. It's just a cycle. It depends upon our karma. If we have good karma, we come back as human, and we be born in some of the levels of heaven there, up there. And if we raise some kind of bad karma, we may go down to animal realms.
So in Theravada, you can only become a Buddha as a human.
Yeah,
Mahayana, is that
the same.
it's
Only human can achieve to the highest state of spirituality, because in heaven is too much pleasure for people for them to cultivate spiritual life. In the realm of animals and omnivores, hell is so much suffering. They couldn't concentrate their mind. Only human realm will experience both the suffering and the happiness and enjoyment. That's why all the Buddha in Buddhist view attend Buddha in human realm, not anywhere else. That's just why human body is so precious.
So if you go to the Pure Land, right, where it's easier, but you don't become a Buddha in the Pure Land?
You are, yeah, but you same the gender, this can be a female or it's the yeah, but yeah. Whenever you're born there, you eventually become Buddha. Yeah.
So is that considered human realm?
No,
It's
it's
a
out. It's out the cycle of the birth. It's
Oh.
Buddha land. That's Buddha land. It's just completely out of the cycle of the birth. Yeah. Yeah. And so it's not easy, but still, that's why in Buddhist view, having human body is so precious that we need to use it. You know, look at the things around us, right? We drain from human mind, right? The positive one, the negative one, the constructive one, and the destructive one, right? The constructive one, yeah, we build up everything, and we may destroy with atomic bomb, right? So this is come from human mind. The for example, let's say for animal, right? The tigers or whichever poisons animals or dangerous animals, they don't kill all, but for human, because we're so smart, we can develop some kind of nuclear bomb to destroy our own race. Yeah, and that's why it's so important that we need to recognize and do a good come of ourselves. Yeah. Otherwise we fall down there, and it's not easy to get up, look back to human realm. Yeah. And one thing in the in that sutra, the Brahmana Sutra, would I say that whoever take the Bodhisattva vows would not keep the pet? You know why?
Right.
Because when we associate with them, either we follow them or they follow us. If we have wisdom, if we have virtue, they follow us. If they affinity with them, we follow them. The way we like them, the way we enjoy, you know how they look, right? Nothing wrong with them.
Yeah.
But the thing is that this is the warning that if we are so familiar with the way they walk, the way they eat, like the dog, the cat, we may go down there with them. You understand now? That in the Mahaya Buddhist view, nothing wrong with them. But when we go down there, it's not easy to come back to human. Yeah. That's why but somehow no matter what, we need to stay away even from killing them, big animals. Otherwise, when we kill one, we have to pay back in different ways, and we get to go. What's that?
What about the? Allowed to.
You put them to sleep.
I
Wow.
mean, you're still gonna create some karma.
But still, yeah, one way you help them, another way that it's better. It's better. Even for ourselves, I encountered some cases that the lay Buddhists asked me if they can keep the life support or take it out. So it again depend upon the wish of that person. That's why for us we need to put in the will beforehand.
And this is my understanding with. Like you take the precepts, and of course for monks and the hierarchy, very much more seriously you take. So you vow to do that, but that doesn't mean you're not gonna mess up or slightly diverge or you go to make that choice, and you know that out of those, like for you make that choice that goes against that precept, you know there's going to be some sort of negative karma, but that doesn't mean you can't. But yeah, it still you can still create merit and like kind of bounce back up from it, but it's gonna weigh a lot heavier on you. You know, like.
Yeah. Yeah. How about
But
you?
then anytime, let's say you would break your precept, you immediately, I mean, you're aware of that and you come back to saying, I'm
So based on your state of mind, So Ben, have you ever encountered that type of situation? The situation.
What is it again? I couldn't hear him.
Have you ever encountered a situation that your family members need to have life support and keep prolong that life support, or you have that type of situation?
No, never personally. I've never had to do that. I've heard about it. I know that it's a really tough situation, depending on how sick they are, the financial situation. A lot of factors go into it, major decisions. So just I pray that that the person wouldn't be suffering.
And Stephen, have you encountered that type of situation before?
In a sense, yes and no. I have moved to Indiana already, but I had my youngest uncle. He passed away due to cancer. And at the last few, it was so quick. We're talking about in a matter of, I think it was just tad bit under a year from diagnosed to he passed, that eventually he got into hospice care. He was staying at home with the family. I thank goodness I got a chance to go back down to Florida to visit them while he was still alive with us. But they had him at home towards all the way to the end with hospice care and everything. But thank goodness the family as a whole did not have to make a decision to, he was on life support, everything, because he was just basically at home with the family and just spending the rest of his days there. And he surprisingly he passed away very peacefully in his sleep. So, and that was we were all grateful for that. So, motherfucker.
Ben, sorry, Sam, this happened to you, Sam? You encountered that situation before?
I mean, I've never been in the position of having to choose, but yeah, certainly I've had loved ones who themselves chose that because they were very old and very sick, they didn't want any more artificial stuff keeping them alive. So it's not like they didn't like, kill themselves exactly. They were just like, no more of these machines and medicines. We're just gonna let nature happen, and that's how they passed away, more or less peacefully.
We can talk about that later on, abortion and so forth later on. All right, so time is up now. Let us end and we come back next week, okay? Good.